Hi, I'm Officer Tony Macias.
And I'm Officer Kim Horton.
We're officers with the Washington State Liquor Control Board and the Enforcement Education Division. Today we'd like to show you what a routine check would look like at a location with an off-premises license. Now today, we're clearly identifiable in our uniforms, but this kind of check would typically take place in plain clothes.
Tony, before we go inside, I'd like to just bring up a couple of really important items. First, your business is open to inspection at all times by law enforcement. Failure to allow an inspection would be a violation. Also, the hours of operation for alcohol service are 6 a.m. through 2 a.m. Now, between those hours of 2 a.m. and 6 a.m., alcohol cannot be sold, served, removed, or delivered to your business. Should we go inside?
Yes, let's go. Upon entering a premises, one of the first things we look at is to make sure they have the required signs. For this location, the required sign is a fetal alcohol syndrome sign, and they can either have it at the front entrance, at their cash register, or at any permanent alcohol location. Let's go inside.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Officer Tony Macias with the Liquor Control Board.
Nice to meet you.
And I'm Officer Kim Horton. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Today we're here to conduct a routine premises check and talk to you about some important rules and regulations. One of the first things I do when I walk in is just make sure you have an actual valid business license. I see it's hanging on the wall over there. Do you mind getting it so I can take a look?
Sure.
Excellent. I see your license is not expired and you have all the proper endorsements. You have tobacco products retailer, grocery store, and cigarette retailer. Thank you very much.
Since we're talking about business operations, I'd like to bring up a few things. If you ever decide you want to change the ownership structure of your business, so let's say you want to add an LLC member or maybe delete an LLC member, or maybe change from a corporation to a sole proprietorship, you do need to get prior liquor board approval. So you need to contact the Liquor Control Board before making any such changes. Also, if you ever decide you want to change your trade name or make an alterations to your approved floor plan, or maybe even move the whole business to a new location, you also need prior board approval for that. Record keeping is important. Make sure that you keep all of your financial records that clearly reflect the financial transactions and the financial condition of your business for a minimum of 3 years on the licensed premises.
Now I'd like to talk to you about public safety. Public safety is one of the most important things we discuss and work on. Public safety is our common goal, and you are responsible for all the activities that happen on this licensed premises. It's important to remember you are never required to make a sale to any customer. You can only make the sale if you feel comfortable with the situation. This could include over-service. If anyone appears intoxicated, they can never purchase alcohol in the licensed premises. Signs of intoxication can include many things. It can be prescription medication, it could be marijuana, it could be under the influence of alcohol. But if anyone is showing signs of intoxication or appears intoxicated, they cannot purchase the alcohol. You can never allow disorderly conduct or criminal conduct on the licensed premises. An employee or the licensee may never be intoxicated on licensed premises. And also, I like to spend a little time on youth access. Minors may attempt to get alcohol in many forms in the licensed premises. One of the common issues we run into is minors waiting in the parking lot and asking customers for alcohol as they enter. This is commonly known as shoulder tapping. It's important that you're aware of what's happening on your licensed premises and the direct area you control. It's also very important that you make sure you never sell alcohol to anyone under the age of 21, and that you're making sure you're checking their ID and it's an actual acceptable form and valid ID.
Can I accept a temporary paper ID, sir?
That's a great question. Yes, you can accept Washington State paper temporary ID cards and driver's licenses as long as they're not expired and you can clearly see the date of birth, the signature, and the photo. You may also accept driver's licenses, ID cards, and instruction permits from any U.S. state or Canadian province, a U.S. military ID card, merchant marine ID cards, official passports from any nation, and Washington State tribal enrollment cards. Your business may choose to restrict from this list, but you may not take any additional forms of ID that I haven't mentioned. Let's talk about compliance checks. Compliance checks are a tool that law enforcement agencies like ourselves use to check for youth access violations. We hire underage investigative aides that work for us. We will send them into your business and they will attempt to purchase either tobacco or alcohol. All you or your staff have to do is check IDs of anybody who is youthful in appearance. Once you check the ID, you will clearly see that they are underage and you should refuse the sale. If you decide that you would like any additional training for your staff as far as checking IDs, please contact your local enforcement officer and they'd be happy to help you with that.
My son is 18 years old. Can he sell alcohol?
Excellent question. Employees must be 18, 19, or 20 years old to sell alcohol, and someone over the age of 21 years old must always be on premises while they are working. Employees of any age can help customers take their groceries out to their car, and that could include alcohol.
Can I sell kegs and growlers?
Well, first we have to figure out if you are eligible for keg and growler sales. There are many different license types, so I encourage you to contact your local enforcement officer or a licensing representative from Olympia to determine if you're eligible for these types of services. If you are eligible for, say, keg sales, then you need to have what's called a keg book. And keg books you can get from our website, and make sure that you're checking IDs properly of anyone who is attempting to purchase a keg. Make sure that you fill out the front page entirely and completely, and then also you want to affix this sticker onto the keg before it leaves your licensed premises. As far as growlers are concerned, if you are approved for growler sales, customers can bring in a sanitary container and you can fill it with tap beer, or you can provide a container for them.
Can I sell spirits?
To sell spirits, your business must be at least 10,000 square feet of fully enclosed retail space. There are a few exceptions, however. If there are no other spirit retailers within your trade area, which is 20 miles, or you are a former contractor state liquor store, you might have these exemptions and you might qualify to sell spirits.
You may purchase your alcohol from a licensed manufacturer, a distributor, or up to 24 liters of wine from a grocery store with a wine retail reseller endorsement. You may pay for your alcohol with either check, debit card, credit card, electronic fund transfer, or you may have a prepaid account. And also a distributor may not extend you credit for any of your purchases. Also, you can never sell your alcohol for below acquisition cost. The only exception to this is if you're having a closeout on the brand and you are going to discontinue it.
Let's change topics and talk about tobacco. I see that you have your tobacco retail sign clearly posted at your point of sale. This sign simply states that you can't sell tobacco to anyone who's under the age of 18. You also are required to only purchase your tobacco products from a Washington State licensed wholesaler or distributor. You need to keep those invoices on your licensed premises for a minimum of 5 years. Do you happen to have one I can look at?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. This looks great, thank you. One of the other things that we look for when we come in for tobacco is that you have a Washington State tax stamp on your cigarettes. May I please see a couple of the cigarette packs to check for the tax stamp?
Yes.
Great, thank you. I see that you also sell other tobacco products, or OTP, here in your store, and these items are things like cigars, chewing tobacco, and other tobacco products that are not necessarily cigarettes. If you choose to only sell those types of products, you still need to have a Washington State tobacco retailer's license, and you can obtain that through the Department of Revenue's Business Licensing Services.
Can I put beer signs in the windows of my store?
You may have no more than 4 alcohol advertisement signs at your licensed premises in the view of the general public on the outside, and they can't be any larger than 1,600 square inches.
So do I have to put alcohol in the paper bag all the time?
Putting the alcohol in the bag is one of our most common questions. There is no law that requires you to put the alcohol in the bag, but you certainly may if you choose to. Well, that about sums up how a routine premises check would go. Do you have any further questions for us? Well, it was great meeting you. Please contact us if you have any further questions.
Thank you. Now we encourage you to browse our website at lcb.wa.gov for more information, or you can contact your local enforcement officer for more specific questions. Thank you.
Thank you.